Once a young woman named Emma, who dreamed of becoming a writer. From a young age, she had an innate love for stories. Her imagination would run wild, and her notebooks were filled with tales of far-off places and characters who lived lives she could only dream of. Yet, as she grew older, those dreams began to feel like distant fantasies. Life, with all its responsibility and demands, began to weigh her down. Emma put her writing on the back burner. After all, she had bills to pay, a job to keep, and finally, obligation that never seemed to end. She told herself that being a writer was just a childhood dream, one that was meant to stay in the past. But no matter how much she tried to ignore it, the desire to write remained in her heart. She could feel it deep within her, like an ember that never quit when out. It tugged at her every time she saw someone else's book on the shelf or heard a powerful story that made her think, I could do that. Yet, Emma was filled with self doubt. She told herself that she was not good enough, that the world did not need another writer, and that maybe she was not cut out for such a bold path. Year passed, and Emma found herself stuck in a routine. She worked a job she did not love, living for the weekends but never truly fulfilled. She began to wonder, is this all there is to life? The spark she once had for writing slowly died under the weight of her doubts. She was surrounded by people telling her to be realistic, that chasing dream was for other, not for her. One day, while browsing through a local bookstore, Emma came across a quote that stopped her in her tracks. You owe it to yourself to become everything you have ever dreamed of. It struck her like a bolt of lightning. She had read countless books, heard endless advice, and yet this one simple sentence pierced through the noise. It was as if it was meant for her. She realized in that moment that she had been holding herself back, not because the word had told her to, but because she has allowed fear to control her. Emma went home that night and sat down at her old desk, which had been collecting dust for years. She pulled out her notebooks, that one she had used when she was younger, and began to write. The word came slowly at first, hesitant and unsure, but as she continued, a sense of liberation washed over her. She was not just writing stories, she was reclaiming a part of herself that she had buried for far too long. The next few weeks were not easy. Emma had to battle her insecurity and face her fears head on. There was times when she felt like giving up, like her. Dreams were too big for her to ever reach. But every time she thought about quitting, she remembered the quit. She owned it to herself. She owned it to that younger version of herself who dreamed of writing. She owed it to her future self who would look back one day and be proud that she did not give up. Emma started waking up earlier to write before work, carving out time in the evening to pour heart on the page. It was not glamorous. There were no crops cheering her on, no instant success, but with each word, each paragraph, she felt a little more like the person she was meant to be. She was not writing for anyone else. She was writing for herself, for the dream she had neglected for so long. It was her way of saying, I believe in me. Several months later, after countless revisions and drafts, Emma decided to take a bold step. She submitted her work to a publisher. To her surprise, she received a response. The publisher loved her writing and offered to publish her first book. It was not easy, and it did not happen overnight. But Emma had finally stepped into the life she had always dreamed of. Her book was released and received well, but more importantly, she had proven to herself that she could do it. She had taken ownership of her dreams, and now she was living them. Emma's journey was not just about becoming a published author, it was about realizing her own worth. She had spent years doubting herself, thinking she was not good enough or that the world did not need her story. But she learned that the world needs her just as it needs you. She realized that the most important person to believe in her dreams was herself. She owed it to herself to live her truth, to step into the life she was meant to live. So, what are you waiting for? You owe it to yourself, just as Emma did, to pursue the dream that have been in your heart all along, no matter how big or small they may seem. You have the power to make them a reality. The world does not need another version of someone else. It needs the unique, irreplaceable version of you. Take ownership of your dream because in the end you owe it to yourself to become everything you have ever dreamed of.